Well, hello everyone. Welcome to another edition of Industry Meets Innovation. I'm here with Colin Lyons right now. I'm going to say Lyons Landscaping, but in actuality, it's Lyons pretty much everything and anything that deals with the outdoors. They handle stuff from fencing to complete builds outside, snow removal. I'm probably going to miss a few things, but because you pretty much do everything that involves. The reason I've asked Colin to have a chat with us today is they are more innovative and they use a lot more technology than most companies that we even call high tech. And it's all about making sure they can deliver the best product possible to the customer and also give the tools to their employees so they can exceed and really grow and thrive. So Colin, would you tell me a little bit about kind of how you're growing here, and then I'd love you to take me for a tour and show me around all the stuff that you're doing.
Sure, fantastic. It's the company's becoming funner and funner all the time. We're breaching the gap with software to make people's lives better, hopefully. And if not, why not? And let's improve upon that. And software is one of our key advantages here. You know, we have an estimating software that takes us from the beginning meeting with the client, which relates to what you were saying. Everything outside is our new branding as we move forward. So is it fencing? Is it welding? Is it parking lots? Are we building a pool, a landscape design? What are we doing? So we have a software that puts a good proposal together for you that's transparent. Through that transparency in that proposal, our foreman and our project managers can now actually build it with all the parts and pieces. They can build your exterior properly. If there's a change or you don't like that desk right there and we want to move that over here now, what's that change look like and how do we do that? Well, we have it so that we can actually do that and be accountable to you. There's no gray areas and the costing is accurate. From that, we actually export that to the foreman so that they can actually have accountable time. So they know I've only got 50 hours to complete this task. That task is then dumped into the project, which we can see how we did in the project. It then relates to QuickBooks for payroll, which is done in a very short time frame now, and everything is really accountable with that. All of our stuff is GPS tracked, so we know where our assets are and how much it works. From when it turns on to when it turns off, I can tell you exactly what we used on your project. We know if the piece of equipment is stolen or if it's missing or if we forgot it somewhere. You know, it gets busy sometimes and the human factor plays a role in what we do. So we really try to make it, reduce down how much you have to think about things.
Well, that's pretty amazing. You know, even from what you're saying right now, this goes a long ways from when you think of landscaping as something that hasn't changed or any of the outdoor work in decades. Right now, this is leaps and bounds.
Yeah, so you look at our industry, the landscape industry, and it's been missing a lot of components. There's no, full-on professional approach taken to running a landscape firm. We're professionals, and this is how we treat it.
Colin, can you take me around and show me where all this stuff happens?
Absolutely. So right here is the beginning of your landscape project. Once you've met with us or before you met with us, this is the design and estimating room. This is where we put your landscape plan together. This is where the designers design everything. And then from that point, we actually produce an estimate with all the parts and pieces so that you know exactly where your money's going to go. That's what happens in this room right here. So we've got project coordination, we've got design, we've got estimation, we've got fencing, welding. This is the heart of what gets you to meet us before we actually come and install your landscape.
So can you visually see and show a customer what the end product's going to look like before they go ahead and
Absolutely.
decide?
So these computers here are hooked up to our boardroom, and then what we can do is your plan goes up and you can have a bit of a virtual tour of your landscape before you actually see it, and you can say, listen, I like that, perfect, let's do that. Then we can bring it back down here, work on the estimation side, and come back with your budget. So you can see the full landscape before it happens.
Well, that's perfect. Where do we go to next?
Now let's go to production.
Okay.
Yeah, this is an exciting part of our business where we actually launch. All the projects begin right here. So this is our production and operations. So all the crews will come and go from this place. All the jobs start here. We keep track of everything from here on GPS. We have everything on schedule and element time. That's why there's 2 workstations that we know We've got 2 people always assessing and making sure that equipment and assets and resources are going to your project when needed.
And you know where all of your assets are at any time?
Yes.
Okay.
Everything is GPS tracked, everything is timed in and timed out of projects, so we can be accountable to you.
Good. So how does, when we put technology in, I know there's always benefits that you get within a company. How does this help both your customer and also your workers that are out in the field?
So for the workers, it controls their time. They know what they have to complete, when they have to complete it by, as well as the payroll is done. It's a real accountability. They can pull it up anytime on their phone or on their tablet, so they know exactly where they're at personally as well corporately. For the client, I'm actually accountable to you. I can say I was here at 3:41 a.m. On the flip side of that, our role is to look after not only your project, but your liability. So if there is ever something that goes on, we actually have pictures before and after. This holds all of our pictures. It holds the timestamps of GPS when we were there. We know how much material we put down. We know how much we plowed. We know who actually did the work. We know what was in the way. So if there was vehicles or cars parked in your property left overnight, we've actually got pictures of that in the software that we can produce for you in any challenge.
Oh, wonderful. Now, with technology always comes adaptation. How did you, and it doesn't matter what industry you're in, when you introduce new technology, it's not easy at times to get the buy-in that you need from staff and get the training in. How did you put this in a positive aspect? Because I notice as we walk through here, everyone's embracing all of this technology.
It's culture. You know, one of our big key mottos is you got to have fun. And we have enough stressful days at work, but we really want you to have a good time at work. You know, when you drive in the front gate, there's a hashed line across the front. We try to switch your brain on as soon as you get here. We actually rip this off from somebody else who's done a great job with it. But on the outside of the property, it says normal. You drive across that hashed line, it says outstanding. So we're trying to switch on positive thought processes all the time. But we drive that through communication. We drive that through accountability to each other. And we want to always be accountable and always available at all times to work together through problems. So we have an open platform.
Wonderful. There's another room that you still want to show me. Correct?
Absolutely. We're going to go into the room.
Colin, this is an excellent room. You got to tell me, what's with the rocks?
These are on all of our boardrooms and all of our key desks, so that this reminds us the 3 focuses that we're actually working on this month or this quarter. We weren't having fun, so one of these rocks has fun on it, so that it reminds us to make sure that we have fun at work. So we need to be playful and have fun. Everything landscaping, which is our old branding. This the new one will be everything outside. And the customer experience. You know, we were doing 95% of the project, but the last 5% we were missing on some projects. So this reminds us to really focus on the customer experience. So these are our 3 goals for this quarter, to make sure that we get a lot of focus into what we're doing. And this is sitting here to remind us that this is what we're working on right now.
That's incredible. I hope what you're getting out of a bit of this is that realization that for companies to grow and succeed nowadays, they constantly have to be iterating, looking at their business processes, finding different ways that they can improve the customer experience and engage the employees. And it seems like you're doing all of that stuff. And innovation is not just about electronics. Innovation is a lot about these different systems that you're doing that are just a better way than you did them before. And I think that's important for all of us to get a lesson out of it.